Today is Thursday, the 9th of October, and if it's the first time you're tuning into the stream, we spend the next hour running through all of the most recent updates from the world of AI. We cover news, we cover product releases, we cover product updates, funding rounds, and anything else that you should be paying attention to keep pace with change, with AI, with innovation, and all the things that is now possible with technology that you might not know about or your friends might not know about that you can maybe implement in your business, project, or anything else that might need to involve it. So without further ado, let's just jump into the first story. We're going to cover the news, and we're going to cover products, and then we've got some apps that you might be able to use at the end. Also, interesting fact, yesterday I think I went for 1 hour with the wrong microphone. So connected the complete wrong microphone onto the stream and had quite the echoey recording coming back. So that was far from ideal. Okay, first story today. Sora, the new video generation app from OpenAI, the downloads in its first week was nearly as big as the ChatGPT launch. So bearing in mind that now OpenAI already have a huge user base. So I think there's 800 million weekly active users, but goes to say that it's been quite a successful launch. Now, here is some of the stats and the story from TechCrunch. Says, after OpenAI's video generating app Sora surged to #1 position on the US App Store, it has now technically experienced a bigger first week than ChatGPT on iOS, according to the new data from app intelligence provider AppFigures. It shows that Sora saw 627,000 iOS downloads in its first 7 days of availability, compared to ChatGPT's 606,000 iOS downloads during its first week. This isn't, however, the fairest comparison because ChatGPT was available only in the US during its first week, while Sora is currently offered in the US and Canada at launch. Okay, that's not too bad. Still, AppFigure says that Canada contributed about 445,000 installs to Sora launch, was about 96% of ChatGPT's launch. It's pretty hefty considering it's a completely new standalone app. It's all AI generated content, so the uptake has been pretty high. It says this level of consumer adoption is worth noting because Sora remains an invite-only app, while ChatGPT was more publicly available during launch. Okay, actually, you do need an invite for it, so that's even more impressive. During its first day, Sora saw 56,000 app installs in short order, bumping the app to #3 overall. By Friday, on October 3rd, it reached #1. That surge had already put Sora's debut ahead of other major app installs, including Anthropic's Claude, Microsoft Copilot, and on par with Grok. Here is some of the data. I'm sure you've seen some Sora generated videos. It's got the watermark that's bouncing around on there too. You might have seen them posted on various social platforms. It says Sora videos, which use the Sora 2 video model and gives users the ability to generate realistic deepfakes. Yeah, true. Seem to be everywhere. Users are even creating deep fakes of dead people. Jesus. A use case that has prompted Zelda Williams, daughter of the late actor Robin Williams, to ask folks to stop sending her AI generated images of her father. And here is some of the stats. The weekly downloads on the 6th, so 84,000. So we're missing a few days here, but seems to be Sora's booming. And this is quite like a niche app. It's all AI generated content. It's invite only. And I think it's probably way more of a success than the powers that be at OpenAI thought it might be. There was an interview actually with Sam Altman yesterday. I think it was on the A16Z podcast, or actually potentially with Rowan from the Rundown, that said that actually losing a significant amount of money for these videos that are being generated because people with a low follower count or even a medium-sized follower count are actually generating tons of videos, and it's actually not creating that many network effects. So losing a lot of money currently, and they're going to have to figure out how to make money from it fairly quickly. Okay, next story. NAN, a big startup from Germany, actually just raised 180 million to get AI closer to value with orchestration. This is a Series C round. Now, NAN are a European-based company. They help you build automation workflows. So get an email in one side, does something in the middle, and then passes it out the other end. So trigger through to an action. And they've just raised 180 million. It's actually a pretty big story, actually, because in the general AI agent workflows or being able to let people build AI agents, NAM plays quite a significant part. You can actually open source it yourself, so you can host it on your own stuff. And it's actually a big success story for Europe too, because we need that. It seems like most of the biggest companies, the most successful AI startups are being built outside of Europe. Obviously, there's exceptions to that. In the AI world, we've got Synthesia, we've got 11 Labs, and now NAN with their big Series C 180 million round is going to be hoping to push more users towards being successful AI providers and in the workplace too. So yeah, kudos to NAN. Next story from TechCrunch 2. Zendesk says now its new AI agents can solve 80% of support issues. So if you've ever reached out to a customer support, then chances are, if you're using a big company, they'd probably be using Zendesk. And now those support issues, 80% of them can be now solved by their AI support agents, which is pretty punchy, if you ask me. Here is the story. Zendesk announced on Wednesday its AI Summit. A string of LLM-driven products can reshape the company's reliance on human technicians. The center of new features is that at the center of its new features is an autonomous support agent that Zendesk believes will solve 80% of support issues without human intervention. Its Copilot agent, which will assist human technicians with the remaining 20% of the issues, as well as an admin layer agent, a voice-based agent, and an analytics agent too. This was a quote from the president of product and engineering and AI. It says the world is going to shift from software that's built for human users to a system where AI actually does most of the work. Pretty bold claim. It goes on to show some stats to the current leader of actually solving these problems. So what's going to happen is a support ticket will come in and there will be a dedicated AI model or a series of AI models that's going to handle this support query. And actually, Claude Sonnet 4.5 solves 80% of the issues on the test. So it's actually benchmarking the most successful agents. If you're looking to build an AI customer support agent, looks like Claude Sonnet 4.5 in particular is the one you're going to want to use. So kudos to Zendesk. You can actually sign up and implement Zendesk yourself. If you're doing manual customer support, might be actually a good issue to start using Zendesk, as then you can hand off some of those repetitive customer support issues to Zendesk and you don't have to do them anymore. So that is probably a smart thing to do. Here's the tweet for the NAN fundraise. Let me just close that one. Here's an interesting tweet from Ethan Mollick. He says, I think people are still underprepared or unprepared for a world where you cannot safely trust any video content despite years of warning. Even when Google and OpenAI include watermarks, those can easily be removed, and open weights AI video models without guardrails are coming. So the point he's trying to make is that we look on the internet every day. And if you're plugged into the AI world, then you will see the quality of these videos and how good they are. Now they have sound. Now they have perfect lip sync. You can then clone yourself in Sora and generate these videos and then remove the watermarks. There's a huge gap in knowledge here of what we know is possible and what the majority of the public or your mum or your grandma knows possible. So there's a big knowledge gap here, which then can be rife for scams and impersonations and God knows what. But despite years of talking about this for the last maybe 3 years, where we've seen this progress happen, people feel like they're still unaware. And these watermark removers are flooding the web. They can be easily made through many like vibe coding platforms now. You just tell it what you want and it'll actually spin one up for you. So you can then take the Sora 2 generation, you remove the watermark and you publish it, and maybe 90% of people, maybe 95% of people will actually not realize that it's an AI now. And there's obviously knock-on effects to that too, which is crazy. And these removers are flooding the web. So we'll see what the downstream effects of that going to be. There was a tweet here too from Theo on the same topic, but he said introducing Sora marker, the easiest way to add the Sora watermark to any video. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a funny take, but what he is doing, you can add a Sora watermark to a video, so you can actually create a normal video just of you being genuine, add a watermark to it, so people think it's AI. I don't know. It's crazy. Let's have a look and see if it works. So if you haven't seen these sort of videos before, basically the watermark moves around the video at different points. So it starts here, then it moves down to the bottom. So not only can you remove these watermarks, if you did, for whatever reason, whatever fun reason, you can actually add it back in or add it in the first place. People are ditching lawyers for ChatGPT in court. From pickable disputes to eviction cases, litigants are using ChatGPT to fight their court battles for them, and they're starting to win. Okay, this is one of the use cases where we thought when it first came out, how's it going to affect lawyers? Can you help me negotiate things like parking tickets or fines? Looks like people are now ditching lawyers altogether. Now they're smart enough and using ChatGPT to help them fight their court battles for them. Here's a story from NBC News. It says Lynn White was out of options, allegedly behind on rent payments to a trailer park in Long Beach, California, and facing an eviction notice. She worked with a lawyer from a local tenant advocacy network, but lost in a jury trial. White wanted to appeal, saying she was protected by Los Angeles regulation, enacted in response to COVID that allowed a 12-month deferral of rent. So what did she do? She decided to consult ChatGPT. Having previously used AI to generate videos for a small music production business, she thought it might be able to help in the legal arena too. And here's what she said. It was like having a god up there responding to my questions, White said after using the chatbot in an AI-powered search engine called Perplexity to help represent herself in court. We love this. White regularly provided ChatGPT with documents and detailed information about a case. The chatbot helped White identify potential errors in the judge's procedural decisions, chart out possible courses of action, research applicable laws, and draft responses to the court. Several months of litigation later, White managed to overturn her eviction notice and avoid roughly $55,000 in penalties and more than $18,000 in overdue rent. She says, I cannot emphasize or I can't overemphasize the usefulness of AI in my case. White said, I never, ever, ever could have won this case, this appeal without AI. Amazing. That is incredible to see. Fair play. White originally used a free version of ChatGPT before upgrading to its premium service of $20 a month. White used Perplexity Pro, which also costs $20 a month. And it says, to understand the role of AI in self-represented or pro-se litigation, NBC spoke with over 15 litigants, legal professionals, and non-profit leaders, AI startups, and legal research companies. And then it just goes on to explain that you get some mixed results. Others have faced penalties for submitting court filings with inaccurate or non-existent information. There was another story which we covered, I think yesterday or the day before, where Deloitte are now returning $400,000 to the Australian government because they provided a in-depth research report with fake citations. And now they've got to hand back some of the money. So it can go both ways. I suggest if you're going to do this, maybe make sure, one, you're using the pro model of whatever it is you're using. It could be just ChatGPT Pro or O3 or Google Gemini 2.5 Pro. Use the best model you can get your hands on and then go from there. Make sure the citations are correct or the links you click are going through to the correct cases. Don't just use a free model, one-shot it and then hope for the best, because that's when you might go a bit wrong. But yeah, great story. Let's just close some of these tabs. Okay, next story. Expedia Group launches AI-powered tools to boost partners' speed and personalization. Recently, during its Explore Connect B2B event for APAC partners, that's a bit of a mouthful, Expedia unveiled a new suite of AI and machine learning powered tools designed to help partners drive speed, scale, and personalization. Highlights include Smart Trip AI, a new trip planning tool that provides hotel and activity inspiration, and the piloting of Lodging Sponsored Listings API, a new advertising solution that unlocks advertising for B2B partners. Okay, this is a bit B2B type coded post, but basically they're doing AI powered trip recommendations live in Expedia. There was a story recently too where what happened was ChatGPT was asked by somebody to create a travel itinerary, and I think they were going to Peru, and I think they were going hiking, and it actually recommended them places that didn't exist. So hopefully this Expedia one is working with real data, real trips, and they actually come out a lot better. This is what SmartTrip AI is. SmartTrip delivers a conversational AI tool that provides curated real-time recommendations. It streamlines the planning process by helping users discover, compare, and select options more efficiently. That's good. Typehead API unlocks an effective way for partners to guide travelers from inspiration to booking. TripTos, can't say that, an online travel agency headquartered in Seoul, South Korea, saw a 20% boost in search to booking conversion after integrating the API. So they're basically making this available via API. If you're looking to build an AI-powered travel app, you can now integrate it with Expedia's new AI, and it can power your search recommendations, and they can actually see a direct uptick in revenue in their conversions, in their search to book conversion rate after integrating the API. Because I'm sure Expedia have all the best data to train these on. So they should be able to make this pretty powerful. That's good to see. Fans call on Taylor Swift to do better after accusations of using AI for promo videos. A scavenger hunt campaign to promote Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, resulted in a viral hashtag Swifties Against AI campaign. So Taylor Swift has obviously got one of the most loyal fan bases in the world, is getting pushed back by her own fans, which is not great. This is an article by Wired. It says this: a bartender's hand passing through a napkin, a disappearing coat hanger, a carousel horse with two heads. These were just some of the alleged clues that fans spotted in promo videos for Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, this weekend. Now, if you ever used AI to create creative material like this, you know that it can be quite tricky. It can be quite tricky to get the hands correct. If you're doing AI video, it can be hard. Maybe it's a bit easier now with Sora 2 and all these Kling models that are actually really, really good. But little inconsistencies that you can see if you have a bit of a trained eye to AI generations, like objects passing behind each other when they should be passing in front of each other. Like another finger added on is still an issue now and again, like bad lip sync, all that sort of little tweaks in that. People can actually tell that it's AI, and looks like people may have noticed that some of Taylor's stuff was made with AI. We've got a quote here. It says, the first sign that it was AI that didn't look great, claims Marcela Lobo, a graphic designer in Brazil who has been a Swift fan since she was 12. She says, it was wonky. The shadows didn't match. The windows and the painted piano, it looked like shit. Basically, okay. Says fans, haters, and AI researchers all spotted similar things in the videos, which Swift promoted alongside Google as part of the scavenger hunt that would eventually unlock the lyric video for The Fate of Ophelia, the album's lead single. Okay, so it's been spotted. According to Ben, CEO and co-founder of AI detection company Reality Defender, it seems highly likely some of the promo clips were AI generated. He cited garbled and nonsensical text into some clips as one giveaway. Yeah, that'd be quite a big giveaway. Representatives for Swift and Google did not respond to requests for comment on this story. Okay. So this all came out. People found it out. Hashtag got trending. It's got pulled up. And by Monday, I'm not sure which Monday that was, maybe this Monday just passed, many of the Life of a Showgirl promo videos had seemingly disappeared from YouTube, and some of the X posts containing them were deleted. Searches for Taylor Swift AI are also restricted as of this writing, a move that was implemented previously to stop the spread of explicit deep fakes of Taylor Swift. So it's not looking good. I think she's been found out. Maybe we need to get a better AI creator on the case for Taylor Swift. That's you. Maybe reach out to her. Swifties Against AI to voice the concerns and call on Swift to apologize if AI was used to make her videos. She's not publicly responded to the fan outcry. Okay. Yeah, if you're going to do AI videos, just check for inconsistencies. Make sure they're actually doing them good. The tools exist to do good ones. Use Sora. Use, I don't know, any of these amazing new video generation models. Just don't get caught out. And if you are looking to create very good assets, best-in-class assets, images, and videos, then look no further than using Let's.ai. Create what you love with Let's. See how good all of the quality of all their video generation models here, image generation, everything looks super realistic, and they go to no lengths to make sure everything generated is pretty excellent. So that's Let's.ai. Highly recommend it. Okay. Study here, women are often portrayed as younger than men online, and AI amplifies the bias. We'll work through this quickly, but I thought it was interesting to share. It says, in a sweeping study published today by Nature, researchers at UC Berkeley, Haas, Stanford, and Oxford documented extensive age and gender distortion across online media and found that common algorithms are amplifying the bias. This is a problem if AI is screening everything, and it has inherent biases, then it's going to either include or exclude people based on certain metrics that maybe the person controlling the AI is measuring for, and you won't necessarily know that that's actually happening. So until you test it like this or do a study on it, you won't actually realize. It says US census data showed no systemic age differences between men and women in the workforce over the past decade, and women on average live longer than men. But that's not what you'll see if you search Google or YouTube or query an AI like ChatGPT. A study published today in the journal Nature analyzed 1.4 million online images and videos, plus 9 large language models trained on billions of words, and found that women are systemically presented as younger than men. God damn it. The researchers looked at content from Google, Wikipedia, YouTube, etc., and concluded women consistently appeared younger than men across 3,495 occupational and social categories. Here's a quote from somebody at one of the institutes, University of Oxford, I think, or Berkeley, Professor Celine Delacour, says this kind of age-related gender bias has been seen in other studies of specific industries and anecdotally, such as in reports of women who are referred to as girls, says the Haas assistant, but no one has previously been able to examine this at such a scale. Okay. Says online images show the opposite of reality. And even though the internet is wrong, when it tells us this fact about the world, we start believing it to be true. It brings us deeper into bias and error. So, yeah. AIs can usually tell you confidently in an answer, and then the more that gets reinforced, even though it's incorrect or wrong or slightly wrong and not completely truthful, then that suddenly becomes reality and people will start to believe it's true. So these inherent biases embedded within AI models can prove to be a bit tricky and could have some knock-on effects. Let me just go down. Here's a takeaway here. Here's a problematic feedback loop, which it describes. Let me just highlight this for us. This creates a problematic feedback loop that distorts reality. The researchers found that people who viewed occupation-related images online adopted the biased age assumptions they saw, potentially creating a self-fulfilling prophecy that reinforces stereotypical expectations and widens the real-world gaps in the labor market. Again, if there's a certain expectation about a role or a position, if you're just seeing the results that are AI confirmed, then that might actually change the real-world perception of it. Interesting study. Here's a video from a quote from Sam Altman, recent interview with A16Z. And here's the sum up from Rohan Paul. He does some great AI stuff. I recommend you follow him on X. All the major AI labs are racing hard to build increasingly powerful video models right now, and there's a good reason for that. Sam Altman here explains how Sora or any video models matter for AGI because they help AI learn how the real world works. A model can generate realistic video, must understand motion, cause and effect, and physical consistency, which are core elements of general intelligence. It says Sora is a way to make a really powerful world model, which is a must for the AGI path. Let's listen to this because I think it's always worth listening to clips from Sama. I'm sure he's got pretty good insights into this whole thing, seeing he's the person building it all. Here we go.
I think you could say that on the surface, Sora, for example, does not look like it's AGI relevant, but I would bet that if we can build really great world models, that'll be much more important to AGI than people think. There were a lot of people, I think it's very important the world understands where video is going very quickly, because that's going to be, video has much more like emotional resonance than text. And very soon we're going to be in a world where like this is going to be everywhere. So I think there's something there. As I mentioned, I think this will help our research program is on the AGI path. I think you could say that on the surface, Sora, for example.
Yeah, so video is really important. There's another clip here, or the full interview is below. You can go to A16Z on X to watch the whole thing. I think it's up on YouTube as well. It's a great interview. But yeah,
Example does not
saying how important video is to understand the world. And obviously, we're going to talk about some humanoid stuff at the end of today, or at the end of the hour. But also, video consumption has been really important to train the underlying Tesla models for full self-driving. And it's going to be equally as important for humanoid robots to understand the world, how people will navigate through a room or pick up items. This is all going to be used as training data to train the AI, to train the robots, to train the cars, and to meet AGI. Because if you're using vision models, and an AI is going to tell you to do something, it needs to actually understand what's going to happen when you do something. So if I throw this keyboard, it's not just going to like sail off into the sky. It's actually going to drop and fall. So the AIs actually need to understand that, and they get all that information from watching video. Okie dokie. Here we have a really cool startup, actually, which I wanted to share. It's another European one, and it's called Chat3D. They've just landed some funding. The French deep tech startup reinventing 3D modeling with Gen AI. So we talk about use cases every single day on this stream. We talk about the tools, the capabilities, and what you can do with different products. In this particular case, Chat3D lets you actually create real world items, or the rigging, the 3D modeling to create real world items. It could be through a 3D printer. It could just be into CAD, etc. with AI. So you say, I want an image, drop in an image, generate 3D. Now you can port it into a video game or into a 3D printer or into a supplier, for instance, for a quote. And they've just landed some funding. This is good for Europe. Again, come on, Europe, let's go. It says, barely a year after its creation, 2 young engineering students, Chat3D is rapidly emerging as one of the most promising players in the French deep tech ecosystem. Based in Lyon, the startup has raised 3 million euros and announced a strategic partnership with NVIDIA. Let's go. A key move to accelerate the development of its generative AI technology for 3D modeling. We spoke with Felix, one of the co-founders, who shared his insights into the company's fast rise, industrial ambitions, and its vision for the 3D creation. Now, we're not going to go through this whole interview. You can go to emag.directindustry.com and find the interview. But there was a few interesting quotes that I wanted to share with you. It says, there's this one too. Give it a highlight. It says this: when we started, we were building machine tools for industrial parts and working extensively on 3D printing. But we soon realized the real barrier to widespread 3D adoption, whether for industry or virtual reality, wasn't the hardware, it was the complexity of creation. So enabling people to create stuff with natural language is the barrier. Now we have the tools to do that across multiple domains. It's being applied to 3D. So rather than pulling up your old school CAD software, why don't you just abstract all of that away into a chat box, which is what they've done. Goes on to say, for anyone that has tried using professional CAD software like Autodesk, the complexity is well known. Okay, there's a barrier to entry, a moat for these people. The moat's now gone, unfortunately. These tools are powerful, he says, but they're time consuming and require expert knowledge. Engineers or operators involved in Industry 4.0 projects often don't have the time or the training to use them effectively. So they've set out to make 3D modeling as easy and fast as possible. Their solution is generative AI capable of producing 3D models automatically from a simple photo, series of images, or a text prompt. Amazing. Amazing. With Chat3D, what used to take an engineer 2 days can now be done under 15 minutes, says Balmonet. Compared to traditional 3D scanning workflows, we're achieving the time savings of around 95%. Massive. The startup's technology sits at a crossroad of CAD, digital twins, and AI, generating 3D models with an accuracy of about 5 to 10 millimeters, more than enough for visualization, simulation, and prototyping purposes. Okay, so this kind of shows why NVIDIA will love it so much. Their Omniverse digital twin technology, this is all down there, right up their street. 3D environments, they'll love it. And this is interesting too. So the accuracy is to 5 or 10 millimeters, which on bigger objects, it's too bad. That's like half centimeter to centimeter. But I guess over time, this is the worst it's going to get. It's going to get better and better. And these designs can then be refined by the next person. So if you generate it, you put it into CAD, you can refine it. Or you send it to a supplier, you can refine it even further. But yeah, it looks like they're going in the right direction here. Here's some images where you pop in the chair and you can put it in a virtual environment. Yeah, there's more quotes, a couple more, and then we'll move on. Balmonet is careful to clarify that Chat3D isn't trying to replicate established CAD tools like CATIA or Autodesk. It says we're complementary. Traditional software excels at precision but lacks automation. Chat3D fills that gap by bringing AI-driven speed and accessibility into the workflow. There we go. It wants to evolve from a 2D to 3D generator into a fully fledged 3D modeling assistant. Imagine being able to talk to your modeling software like you talk to ChatGPT. Okay, that's cool. Good for them. Here is, I think, their website. You can go to chat3d.ai if you want to try it out. I think you can actually log in and start to create things today. And also, I think they have an X account here, chat3d_. So if you're into this sort of stuff, if you're a designer, you're trying to create gaming assets or whatever it is, or you love 3D printing, for instance, you can give us a whirl and start creating assets today. There's a recent update. I think it's not recent, but back in February. I don't know why that's pinned. But yeah, check them out. Looks like a really cool tool. In this same vein, MIT have some news for us. It says, using generative AI to diversify virtual training grounds for robots. So if you're unaware of how this stuff works, I mean, I'm not fully versed in it, but what happens with humanoids at the moment is they train them in virtual simulations. They teach them new skills. They train them over and over again, often like millions of times. And then when it comes to the real world, they actually know how to navigate. So they'll create a digital twin of certain environments. The digital version of the robot will navigate that environment, figure out how to use it, and then go into the real world. The new tool from MIT CSAIL creates realistic virtual kitchens and living rooms where simulated robots can interact with models of real-world objects, scaling up training data for robot foundation models. Pretty cool. Chatbots like ChatGPT and Claude have experienced a meteoric rise in usage the past 3 years because they can help you with a wide range of tasks, whether you're writing Shakespearean sonnets, debugging code, or need an answer to an obscure trivia question. But the source of this versatility, billions or trillions of contextual or textual data points, across the internet. But this isn't enough to teach a robot how to be helpful in the house. So they're creating steerable scene generations, digital twins of things, that's trained in over 44 million 3D rooms filled with models of objects such as tables and plates, existing assets into new scenes. And then you can create these 3D worlds by steering, then actually the definition of this, a diffusion model, an AI system that generates a visual from a random noise towards a scene that you find in everyday life. So you can create these scenes pretty quickly, and they're the first to apply this scene generation in this way to train robots in simulation. If you want to go and read on the details of this, you can do. You can find it at the MIT.edu website. But humanoids are moving really fast, which we'll get to in a moment. Now they're getting the tools to be able to train these in simulation, and we're going to see them navigating through our kitchens sooner than I think a lot of people expect. Okay, we're getting on to some digital agent stuff, some digital tooling stuff now. And BrowserBase just solved authentication for AI agents. If you've ever used an agent before, it's basically one that if something happens over here, automatically do it, or research some websites and send me an email. It can be go to this website, try and scrape some data for me, compile it, add it to a Google Sheet, write a report, create a graph of some kind, maybe that sort of thing. Basically, a agent that goes off onto the internet, does stuff, and then comes back to you. Now, one issue with this is logging in. If you want it to act as you and to emulate yourself in the workplace, then there's an issue. It can't really, or it couldn't really until today, actually log into the application, find the information that you want, and then bring it back to you, or get information on one side, take it to the place that you want it to go, log in, and then update that software for you. Now, this covers a huge range of how knowledge workers work. Our class of knowledge worker is somebody who uses a laptop to do work, to do research, to use apps, to use Google Sheets, to move information around digitally. This is kind of knowledge work. And now BrowserBase have solved one of these problems. Let's read it, and we can watch the video because I think it's probably worth it. Let me just switch the screen so you can hear some sound. And here it is. It says, BrowserBase, we just solved authentication for AI agents, announcing 1Password and BrowserBase, enabling secure agentic password autofill for your browser agents. Available exclusively on Director.ai and BrowserBase. Here is the full post below. So you give access. Okay, we're going to get onto the security thing in a minute. You give access, you give your agent access to 1Password to fill in forms, login info, so it can take actions inside of password gated software or applications. Okay, here's a video.
Every AI company faces the same problem. How do you give agents access to systems without compromising on security? Authentication is the most important yet unsolved problem for building production AI agents.
AI agents need distinct identities that can be tied back to the human user. It's just not enough to be logging in with someone's password. That's why today we are announcing Agentic Autofill by 1Password, which enables developers to build agents that can use their secure credentials stored in 1Password vaults to authenticate on websites via BrowserBase.
With 1Password, credentials are never exposed to the agent, and users approve access every time. Stop hard-coding passwords and start building trusted agents that can access systems on your behalf.
1Password plus BrowserBase, agentic authentication for the rest of the internet.
Every AI company faces this.
Okay, so let me just go to a screen here because I think this was interesting. You have you want to work with an agent, you don't want to send, or you can't access credentials, you can't log in, and this is secure agentic autofill inside of Director.ai. So Director.ai is basically a platform which lets you automate tasks. Now they've added a 1Password integration which you can toggle on, and then it will use that credential, I guess, in a very secure way. I don't think you're passing the exposed password through to your agent as such. I think it's handled slightly more securely than that. Toggle this on, and then it can log in to GitHub and take an action for you in this case. Okay.
That can
Really cool. Here's the full post. If you want to read it, it's on browserbase.com. It says credential access in the agentic web, and you can read through exactly why it matters, the 3 pillars of agentic identity. I'm even sharing the wrong screen here because I had the sound on. Let me just share. And here it is. Here's the full article. If you want to go deep on it, it came out yesterday. It just talks about how they moved from WebBot now to WebBot Auth, now to 1Password, enabled director. And then it goes on to actually some of the actual technical makeup of the credentials and 2-factor authentication, role-based access control, and who they're building for. But yeah, BrowserBase are doing some amazing stuff. Director.ai is a great tool. I think you'll like it. Try it out. But now your agents can access software that requires a login with BrowserBase, which is really cool. Okay, we've got a couple of leaks here. Testing catalog news, as per usual, usually makes it onto the stream, always tracks down the latest releases up and coming with AI tools. This time we've got Perplexity. Perplexity is preparing a new limited time invite share system with payouts via Dub. Earn cash every time you invite a friend to Comet, and they get a free month of Pro. To qualify, your invites must log into Comet and ask their first question. Okay. One sec. If you're not familiar with Comet, it's basically the browser I'm using for this, and it's an AI-powered browser. It's got an assistant built in that you can toggle on and ask questions. It has full context of your page. It can take over your browser and take actions. You can talk to it, summarize, set up skills on slash commands. You can say slash teach, and it will create a set of questions about the page if you set it up that way, and a bunch of other stuff. It's powered by Perplexity, and now you can earn through recommending it, and you can earn cold, hard cash, not credits. You get $10 every single time, which is very nice. Also, they have another feature up and coming, which may be tied into a shopping feature coming soon, I think. Perplexity is preparing a virtual try-on feature for the release. This feature will let users try clothes virtually as part of Perplexity ordering experience. So we saw ChatGPT release online shopping. Perplexity, they're going to have it too. Besides that, Perplexity for iOS got connectors, setting with Gmail and Calendar. So yeah, virtual try-on coming to Perplexity very soon. Makes sense because these virtual try-on apps have actually got really popular. Basically, you upload an image of yourself in normal clothes, and when you scroll through a fashion website, for instance, say, I like this t-shirt, I like these shoes, I like these trousers, you can do virtual try-on. You can see what they look like on you before ordering, and now Perplexity, taking a chunk of search traffic, is rolling that in to the overall experience, and looks like it will be coming very soon too. Yeah, highly recommend following Testing Catalog on X if you want to stay ahead of leaks and features that are coming downstream. Okay, Veo 3 was Google's video generation model, and it was fantastic. It was released before Sora. I think there might actually be a new one coming soon by the looks of it. Veo 3.1 updates, and it says video length extended to 1 minute. Now, we've seen AI generated videos go from 5 seconds now up to 1 minute in a matter of months. Now we have native sound, 1080p output, cinematic presets, and now we're getting character consistency, multi-prompting for multi-shot, easy generate a multi-scene story script from just a single image. This is coming with Veo 3, Veo 3.1, by Google. Here was the leak. Obviously, this is from Higgsfield. Higgsfield is a tool, a creative platform which lets you create AI images and AI videos, and looks like they've already added, or they're prepping for it. They know it's coming soon to their platform. It's going to be available inside of Higgsfield and other tools too. But yeah, it looks like we're getting 1 minute long AI generated videos at super high quality very, very soon. This was a report. Every year, Air Street Capital do a state of AI report. So we're on to more formal stuff now for a moment. This is, I think, an almost 200-page report covering everything you need to know about the state of AI. Here is you can download it. I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to go through it. I haven't got 5 hours to go through the whole report. But if you're interested in AI, wanted to give them a shout out. Highly recommend you doing it. Go to stateof.ai and you can download it today. Take the survey too. It basically covers everything that you need to know. It says now in its 8th year, State of AI Report 2025 is reviewed by leading AI practitioners in the industry, and research it considers the following key dimensions, including a new large-scale AI usage survey. It covers research, industry, politics, safety, the survey, predictions, and it has some key takeaways from the 2025 report here. So if you did want to actually just shortcut the whole thing and just read the takeaways, you can do. Let's have a look at kind of the top 3 here for a sec while we're here. OpenAI still retains a narrow lead at the frontier, but competition has intensified as Meta relinquishes the mantle to China's DeepSeek, Qwen, and Kimi, close the gap on reasoning and coding tasks, establishing China as a credible number 2. Reasoning defined the year as Frontier Labs combined reinforcement learning, rubric-based rewards, and verifiable reasoning with novel environments to create models that can plan, reflect, self-correct, and work over increasingly long time horizons. So this is the case where we're seeing agents run tasks for longer, evaluate the work they've done, reason over it, like, did I do a good job? Am I following the instructions that were given to me to start with? And then looping back around to make sure they're actually carrying out the tasks that the person asked for initially in a self-reflective way. And this has actually come this year. It's come good this year. AI is becoming a scientific collaborator with systems like DeepMind's co-scientist and Stanford's virtual lab autonomously generating, testing, and validating hypotheses in biology. ProFluence ProGen 3 showed that scaling laws now apply to proteins too. So we're starting to see AI scientists as the model quality goes up, as the overall hallucinations come down and accuracy comes down. Then obviously we've got an increase in quality of reasoning and chain of thought. These AI scientists are actually now becoming a reality, which is obviously the knock-on effects of this into medicine and drug design and proteins, etc., is going to be epic for the world. Structured reasoning entered the physical world through chain of thought planning as embodied AI systems such as A12, Molmo Act, and Google's Gemini Robotics 1.5 began to reason step by step before acting. This is to do with a new robotics effort. It's basically putting this into the context of how a robot would navigate the world, pick up an apple, unload the dishwasher, load the washing machine, walk through the kitchen, open the fridge, this sort of thing. Chain of action is basically how the humanoid or the robot or the embodied AI system, if you want to call it, will say, I need to do this, then this, then this, then this. And now this chain of action planning is moving into the real world. And we're actually going to see in a moment how that's going to manifest itself in the shape of various humanoid robots before you think they're going to be possible. There's a few more here saying commercial traction accelerated sharply. Inaugural AI practitioner survey. The industrial age of AI has begun. This is big projects like Stargate, multi-gigawatt data centers. AI politics hardened further. Safety research, and then the existential risk debate has cooled, where everyone was losing their minds about we are going to be dead by now. Pop quiz, we're actually not dead by now, and things are working out okay so far. And this is the State of AI report. Again, let's have a look how many slides it is. I was wrong. It wasn't 200 slides. It's 313 slides, and you can download it. You can view it online. I think Google Slides was actually broken a while ago after it got released, but you can view it yourself. I highly recommend you spending a couple of days to actually chew through it, and you're going to have an amazing understanding of everything that's happening in AI yourself. I'm going to chew through it over the weekend, I think, and we'll reconvene on Monday to see about some of those insights. Okay, another fairly official looking post, but wanted to highlight a couple of points here. KPMG CEOs prioritize AI investment in 2025. Global CEO confidence is a 5-year low, but leaders are ramping up AI spending and workforce transformation. 75% remain optimistic about company growth despite the economic uncertainty. Okay. They basically they surveyed 1,350 chief execs, which showed the confidence in the world economy had reached a 5-year low, but they were bullish on AI and AI spending and investment. They said, or this report says, sorry, this isn't a quote, artificial intelligence is a primary focus of this strategic investment. The report reveals 71% of CEOs now list AI as a top priority, up 64% from last year. This is supported by budget allocations, with 69% of leaders dedicated to 10 to 20% of AI initiatives of their total budget. And the integration of AI is also reshaping the workforce. 59% of chief execs are redeploying staff from traditional roles into new AI-enabled positions. Concurrently, 41% of leaders acknowledge that staff layoffs will occur in certain businesses as a direct result of this technological disruption. There's going to be layoffs. There's going to be people shuffled around. That's just the nature of the technology. There's going to be jobs created. Another one, the majority of 77% agreed that employee AI readiness and upskilling will materially influence organizational prosperity over the next 3 years. A potential constraint was also noted, with 70% warning the competition is for specialized AI talent could impede company success. So if you're thinking about the salaries that are getting paid to some of these researchers, more notable, the aggressive hiring practices from Meta away from DeepMind and OpenAI and Anthropic and some of the other labs, the talent is the blocker. Having the people who know how to navigate AI, know how to navigate tools, big opportunity if you actually know how to implement a AI workflow into a core business function. One would be maybe, do you know how to use a voice AI tool that can replace cold calling or customer support or receptionists, for instance, that can not only bring the cost down, but also increase productivity, increase effectiveness, reduce reliance on customer support, increase customer happiness, all that good stuff. If you can do that and actually roll it into a business, the demand is off the charts. There's another interesting fact. It says, additionally, I say fact, interesting result of this report, 50% points to the absence of clear regulation governing AI's use and application as a significant concern. Okay. Overregulation is also a bit of an issue in some areas too. But yeah, that's an interesting stat. Looks like there's going to be AI is currently the number one priority for spend amongst chief execs in companies. And if you did want to actually upskill your team in AI, then I have just the partner for you. You can go to go9x.com, a proud partner of the stream. They will help you upskill all of your staff in AI. They have courses, they have online sessions, they have online workshops, and they're awesome. I think you should reach out. You can start learning yourself, or you can work with them directly to help them train your team. That's go9x.com. Okay, let's rip through some funding rounds. We do this section, not sponsored by, but I really like his work. Chief AI Office and his 12 AI startups raising over 100 million. This was yesterday. And we want to just talk about the types of companies that are getting funded, because I think it's interesting to get an insight in the overall market, etc. We have Further AI, just raised 25 million Series A from A16Z. They're building the AI workspace for insurance. It automates critical workflows across underwriting, claims, compliance, and policy comparison with domain-specific agents that integrate directly into your insurance broker and reinsurer system. Okay. If we open it up, maybe we can just see the site. Aimed at trusted insurance professionals. Looks like a pretty slick site. They've just raised a chunk of money from A16Z, so they must be on the right track. Next one, Zengage from Bessemer Venture Partners is an AI platform that runs the live logistics of home-based care alongside an agency's EMR. I don't actually know what EMR stands for, But this platform covers intake, scheduling, coordination, documentation, and billing, with reinforcement learning trained on historical labor data to recommend and adjust staffing decisions. The voice AI layer closes the loop with caregivers and families in real time while the system produces payer-ready documentation as it happens. Nice. We have an AI agentic platform for life sciences companies to create regulatory documentation. This is Peer AI, a seed round raised by Signalfire and Flare Capital Partners. Intelligent automation for regulatory documentation. No one likes writing documentation, but a lot of it is actually quite important. So it looks like they're tackling that problem. And then we've got some other funding rounds down here too. We've got AI fleet management from Entangles. We've got edge autonomy from Ant Systems. Lucio raises 5 million seed, an AI legal document analysis assistant. Resourcely raises a 3.1 million seed. There's got to be more startups called Resourcely. Maybe they spelled it differently. Inventory data harmonization for manufacturers. Nextcade raises 2.5 pre-seed. AI agents for procurement workflows. And there's 3 more in the funding database. If you want to keep up with all funding rounds, go to chiefaioffice.xyz. You can get the database with all of the funding rounds logged in here. But yeah, highly recommend it. It's a really good resource. Now, I want to share some apps which I think are useful for people if you are maybe watching this AI wave, this tsunami of AI progress, and you think, I wish I could just try out building stuff. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. You can either build, or depending on your idea, what you want to build, is probably going to be either suited to web, like a web app or a website, or it's going to be suited to a mobile app. It could be Android app you want to build. It could be an iOS. It could be both. You might want to push them across all platforms. Now, the best way to do that, if you're going to be doing mobile apps, this isn't actually a sponsor of the stream, just I'd say best in class for doing this sort of thing. Mobile apps, you want to use Rorke. So Rorke gives you this box that you expect from like a ChatGPT or a Lovable or a Bolt, and it helps you build native mobile apps fast that you can just push live into the App Store. It's crazy. If you scroll down, you can actually see some of the apps that are built with this. You've got Harvey Legal, which is an AI case evaluation app built on Rorke. You can scroll down, you can see some other examples too. I wonder if you can open it. You can see here. But yeah, you can build cross app or on Android and iOS directly inside of Rorke, which is pretty neat. If you wanted to build a web app, you can actually build all types of apps actually inside of Replit. But let's say if you didn't want to build a mobile app, but you might want to build a web app, or you might want to build a data app, which basically pulls in a load of data from some source. It could be a CSV, it could be a database, it could be anything. You want to build a data app, or you want to build a game, or just an agent or an automation, then I'd go with Replit. Replit is basically an all-in-one app building platform with a built-in database, with authentication, with plugins, with hosting in a fully secure contained environment, and it will just do it for you. It's got Agent 3, which is a fully autonomous AI builder, and I think it says here, actually, it can run up for 200 minutes. So if you say, build me this thing, I want it to do this. Supposedly here, officially it says 200 minutes, but I've seen a tweet or a post online which says it can run up to multiple hours. I don't think this is publicly available, it might not be, but sometimes it can run for 8 hours. I think the record is 16 hours. We've heard Sam at OpenAI say Codex can run for a week. So these things, especially in Replit with Agent 3, can run for an extended period of time. Think up your idea, detail it out, improve the prompt, chuck it into Replit. Again, it's going to cost a little bit of cash, but it saves you spending 50 grand, 10 grand, 30 grand on a developer. Work with Replit yourself. You can do things like set your theme. You can do integrations. They've got a bunch of integrations here. Let me just show you all the ones you want. Gmail, Google Drive, HubSpot, Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, you can pretty much build anything inside of Replit. Thought I'd show you that one with you. Another one for building really good mobile apps is Vibecode app. So this will actually give you an app on your phone. So you can download the Vibecode app and you can just describe your idea and create native apps which you can push into the App Store just through typing on your phone. So you don't even need a laptop to use Vibecode app. You can download it, describe your app idea, put your phone down, and it would just go and build it for you. And then you can push it live to the App Store. That's crazy. Or you can actually use it on the web, which can create different types of app too. But yeah, vibecodeapp.com is awesome. You should definitely try it out. And Expo.dev powers all of these platforms. So Expo, proud sponsor of the stream, proud supporter. They actually build the underlying technology to help you create full stack React Native applications that work across all platforms. So if you wanted to build on Android, on iOS, on the web, this builds all of your code in React Native, and so you can deploy anywhere. So if you're looking to build enterprise grade platforms, if you wanted to build Replit yourself, or build a version of Replit yourself, if you wanted to build Rorke that helps other people launch their own applications, then you'd build that on top of Expo. So if you're a developer, you use Expo, and then you can build the products that help people build the products. Expo powers it all. You can get in touch directly. You can see some of the products that are built on top of Expo. We've got Kik, we've got Y Combinator, we've got Dig, we've got Replit, we've got Coinbase, Phantom. A lot of things that you probably use every single day are built on top of Expo. Go and check them out at expo.dev. Okay. I needed to talk to you today about humanoids. Because today is going to be a big day for the humanoid space. Usually we just cover tech, AI stuff, or digital tech, but today is going to be a monumental day for humanoids. We've got Figure, who are a company, an AI robotics company, and they're releasing Figure 3. I wanted to share this video because it is incredible and a crazy moment in time to be alive and just to see these come to fruition. Here we go. Feast your eyes on this. Insane how good this is. We have a race on from Figure with Figure 3 and then Tesla Optimus on the other side. But some of the quality of this video, the humanoid looks exquisite. The design, this is top tier. This is S+ tier video making for one, hype video making for two, but the actual humanoid itself looks insane. We're going to have these walking around doing stuff before we know it. Yeah, shout out to Figure. This looks amazing. I don't know what time today it's coming out, but yeah, we've got the reveal today at some point. So if you're interested in humanoids, you can tune into that today. Other one I wanted to share with you from Deep Robotics, the world's first, we officially launch DR02, the all-weather humanoid robot, redefining real-world robotics. Now, there's a case that people say, what would you do if humanoids were chasing after you? People say, oh, just jump in the water or throw a bucket of water on them or trip them up or push them over. If you've seen videos of Unitree Robotics where they're trying to actually kick the robot over, even if it trips over, it will get up in like a split second. You're not going to kick it over. This is an all-weather humanoid robot from Deep Robotics, and I wanted to show you this just so you're fully aware of what they can do. Let me just make sure I'm sharing the right screen. They're moving really fast. I mean, Chinese humanoids, incredible. We've got Figure in the US. We've got Tesla Optimus in the US too. But yeah, Deep Robotics are creating the all-weather one. Okay, so you're not throwing water over it. It's going to keep doing its thing. That's a new one. This is called DR02, the all-weather humanoid from Deep Robotics. Shout out to them. And we've got one more video to show you, or maybe a series of video actually from Robots Digest. This is from, here we go. So Google, this is what we talked about previously. Google's new robotics software, which is then doing chain of action. This is a visual representation of that inside of a humanoid. So this is the post. Google just gave their robotic robot the ability to Google things mid-task. Gemini Robotics 1.5 can now search the web, reason through multiple step plans, and figure shit out on the fly. Here we go.
It's 1.5, a new family of models to power the next generation of physical agents. Now, for the first time, they can solve longer, multi-step challenges.
Aloha, could you sort these fruits into color matching plates?
Sure, I can certainly help you do that. Put the green fruit into the green plate.
We enable it to think. It can perceive the environment. It would think step by step and then finish this multi-step task.
Put the banana into the yellow plate.
Although this example seems very simple, the idea behind it is really powerful. The same model is going to power more sophisticated robots like a humanoid to do more complicated daily tasks.
Hi, Apollo. Can you help me sort my laundry, please?
Sure, I can help with that.
Put whites in white bins and the darks in the dark bin. Beautiful, okay. And then I can now switch this up on it. Sorry, Apollo. And it knows that I have done that and it will react. So you can see the whole flow of its thoughts here and it's thinking every time it acts.
Gemini Robotics 1.5 can break a broad task down, think, and then take action over a number of steps. Another step change with Gemini Robotics 1.5 is that now all of our robots use the same model without needing to fine-tune it for different form factors. New agentic capabilities mean Gemini Robotics 1.5 can use the internet to answer questions and solve problems.
Hi, Aloha. Can you use my location and sort the objects into the correct compost, recycling, and trash bins?
To perform the sorting task based on San Francisco waste guidelines, I will use the green bin for compost, the blue bin for recycling, and the black bin for trash. The task is complete.
Good job, thanks.
Gemini Robotics 1.5 is a step towards bringing truly useful AI agents into the physical world, giving the community a powerful new tool to build the next generation of helpful robots.
Insanely cool. So it's plugged into the internet. You can Google stuff. A couple more posts. Two models dropped. GR 1.5 Vision Language Action for direct control. GR 1.5 embodied reasoning for high-level planning. Both leverage Gemini's 2.0 reasoning capabilities. The demo that caught attention sort these objects into compost recycling. Then it Googles the result. We just watched that. This is agentic robotics, where the system can call tools mid-execution, web search, calculators, databases. The robot doesn't just act, solves the problem using external information sources. I think this is another video, actually.
Hi, Apollo.
Hello there. How can I help you today?
I'm traveling to London with my friend next week. Can you help me pack and put the beanie in my bag?
I can certainly help you pack. I will put the beanie in your bag.
And can you tell me if it's going to rain while I'm there?
It will likely rain on several days next week in London, particularly on Wednesday, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. I will put the umbrella into your bag.
Thanks, Apollo.
You're welcome.
So good. Amazing. See how fast they're moving. Okay. So that's it. We have 4 humanoids there, and we're going to see Figure unveiled today. Let me just see. I think I might have one more thing. Oh, actually, I do have one more robot to show you. Here we go. It's from Humanoid Hub. If you like this sort of thing, you'd love following these guys on X. It says, Shanghai-based Scion Robotics demonstrated their Orca humanoid robot walking with alternate gaits, expressing different moods and attitude. If you've ever seen a humanoid walk, it can be like pretty clunky. They've got like flat feet, but they're getting better. This is the world's first emotional gait foundation model. Okay. And you can see down here it's translated. This is a confident gait to start with, and I guess it's going to change. A bit of a strut. Happy forward. Happy backward. Strut. Swagger. Oh, sad. Warm stride, shared vibe. The Orca humanoid can now change its gait depending on the emotion that it wants to convey. So that's pretty cool. That's the first time I've seen anything like that from a humanoid company for sure. And if you did want to get into humanoids and you did want to change the career path you're on, then I highly recommend going to Teal HQ. They can help you navigate your career, can help you build your resume, you can track jobs, can help you advance 50% faster with Teal's suite of career tools. Go to tealhq.com. Incredible product, incredible tool, incredible founders. Love partnering with them. It's completely free to sign up to build your resume, track your jobs, and their AI-powered matching mode too. So that is it for today. Ran a little bit longer than usual because I wanted to show you some humanoid stuff, but thanks for tuning in. Same time tomorrow, stream same time, 2 p.m. CET every single weekday. So we'll be back tomorrow for the latest and greatest in the world of AI and technology in general to see what is possible. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one. Bye.